Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on Prize Picks. We got plays for college football Saturday in this one. First off, sorry if it's a little loud. I got my wash running in the background, but we are on an insane hot streak in the YouTube plays. I'm going to show you guys. This was our last college football Saturday. I gave out 5 plays, and 4 of them hit. We barely missed with bankroll right here. Actually, I mean, that one was really tough, honestly. And this one was the NFL video. I gave out 5 plays again. Mark Andrews drops the pass, 3 times in this game. It was absolutely ridiculous. We did not end up hitting this, but 8 out of our last 10 in the football, and then going into the week, we hit an NHL play, another NHL play, and then another NHL play. So, look at this, 500 to win 1,000, 500 to win 885. We have been cooking in the NHL and on basically every single sport in the free picks. So we're going to try to do it again. I got 5 free plays in this video, and I got a 3-pick parlay as a bonus to end it out. But first up, I want to say how you guys can get more free plays. You can hop on the Winnable. Like I said, completely free. Just hit the link in the description. Sign up for the free plan. Basically what this does is you subscribe to a plan, and then you just receive the plays on your phone. It'll literally text it to you. So basically when I don't want to sit in front of a camera and a mic and give out a free play, I can just see a line change, send it out to all you guys for completely free, and then you tell the bets. I literally just send a PrizePicks link or whatever it is. Super convenient. You get bonus free plays. Link is in the description. Now, let's talk about how you guys can get free VIP, because our VIP has been popping. I'll show you guys the how should I say, the spreadsheet, because I literally don't hide anything on these videos. I'm showing you guys every single play that we've taken. 17 units profit in the last 10 days. So insane on the VIP. You can literally look at every single play that we took. I'm not trying to hide anything. And now let's move into how you can get free VIP. Free entire month of VIP. If you text me at this number, all you gotta do is text me proof that you signed up for Sleeper or Chalkboard. And the best part is these apps want you to sign up. Sleeper's giving you a free 20 bucks just for signing up. Chalkboard's giving you a 100% deposit match and a Patrick Mahomes free square on Sleeper. Whatever the new user special is on Chalkboard, it's basically going to be a 0.5 yard square. So if you're in any of these states right here, purple states or green states, you are eligible to get a free month of VIP and all these insane promos. All you got to do is sign up on one of these apps and then text me at this number right here. Now, let's move into the plays for the day, because we've got a lot to get through. A heck of a lot to get through. So, we're starting off in the Indiana game right here. So, Indiana's been playing out of their minds, as everybody knows. Now, nobody's sleeping on them anymore. So, if you look up Mendoza, you'll see against Oregon, this is going to be a tough matchup for them, but I honestly still think they could pull off an upset here. We will see. Against Oregon, Mendoza has hit this in 4 of the last 4 games, right? So, he's very, very solid here. But now he plays against an Oregon team who, have been, you want to say that they have quality wins, but then think back and, if their quality win is Penn State, is that really quality? Because Penn State looks kind of ass. So, we don't really know, actually, how good this Oregon team is. Indiana, on the other hand, do have quality wins. They beat Illinois dominatingly, and they won last week as well. So, they look really good. 229 yards. I like him on the over, but what I like even more is just going straight up for the wide receiver. If he's going to have a great game, if Mendoza's going to have a great game, you know who else is going to have a great game? Surratt. So I like Surratt here. You could take him on receiving yards, but what I think is going to happen is if Indiana's winning this game, they're going to have to pass the ball because they stay aggressive when they win. You saw that against Illinois. And if Indiana's losing in this game, they're going to have to pass the ball in order to catch up in this game. So it's literally a win-win scenario. No matter what, Surratt is going to be targeted a ton in this one. And I don't even mind taking him over on receiving yards, but I absolutely love taking him over on receptions. 5.5 receptions is nothing for this man. He is the #1 wide receiver on this team. 6 against Iowa, 9 against Illinois. And then these last few games, honestly, I wouldn't even count these because they're not playing up against quality opponents. But against quality opponents in big games, whether they're winning by a ton or whether they're losing by a ton or whether it's a close game, he's hitting this on the over. So, absolutely love Surratt on the over at 5.5 receptions. But now we're heading into play number 2, and I'm going towards a game that probably a lot of people are sleeping on right now, and it's Notre Dame taking on NC State. So NC State right here is the road team. Notre Dame is obviously favored to win this game by quite a bit. And you want to take Carr over on the yards. You want to take Notre Dame to just, put up a statement win against an NC State team who are kind of challenging. They're not great. But if this game turns into a shootout and Notre Dame's defense does not show up to play, NC State's offense is strong enough to hang around in there, right? So you want to take Notre Dame to just go over on the passing yards at 262. And I'm going to show you guys. CJ Carr's regular line sits between 230 and 240, right? Now they're playing a terrible defense at NC State, so they boosted his line by 20 or 25 yards. Now we might want to stay a little bit away from that because it's at a fairer price. Another example of this, Jordan Faison. right? His line is usually around 55 to 65 yards. Because they're playing them against a terrible defense, it's a great matchup for them. They're going to boost his line up to 73.5. And they've literally done this for every single player, as they should, except for one, which is, it doesn't make any sense to me why Malachi Fields is still at 48.5. He usually gets this against a regular opponent. And the only time he hasn't hit this in the last couple games, he barely missed against Boise State. His usual line is literally this. His usual line is like 40 to 50 yards. Now they're playing up against a very easy matchup, and they haven't moved him at all. This is probably my favorite play of the entire day. Well, I mean, that's hard to say. There's a lot of good plays, right? But I love Fields here. I've been watching NC State every single week because they are my team. And even though I'm a fan of them, I know better than anyone that their defense is absolutely garbage, right? Their defense is terrible, especially their secondary. And, a good passing offense like Notre Dame right here. Fields over at 48.5 feels like a gimme, right? And I also don't mind you taking him over at 24.5 on the longest catch, but 50 yards, 50 receiving yards? Like, what are we talking about, man? That's ridiculously easy for this man to cash out in this one. But we're going over to our next play. We're going actually to our former NC State player. He was an NC State player last year, and he absolutely cooked. And then, good for him. He moved on to a bigger and a better team. The guy who I'm talking about, of course, is KC Concepcion. So, 66.5 receiving yards. We are slamming that on the over. He's had one down week. I don't even know if you can call it a down week. He still had 60 yards. He was literally the most consistent wide receiver in all of college football. Nobody's going to talk about it because they still want to talk about Jeremiah Smith and, what Ryan Wingo really should have been. But nobody's going to talk about KC Concepcion. He is proving everybody wrong. He is a major reason why Texas A&M are up here. And, of course, you want to mention Craver's name as well because his line is ridiculously high. He is just as solid, right, at 80 yards last week. But Concepcion has been the better player in being more consistent. That's what I feel. Reed obviously favors Craver more, but Concepcion beating these players deep, which Florida we've seen, they can get beat deep quite a bit. Concepcion on the over at yards is an insane play, right? 66.5, like, what are we talking about, right? But let's go into a marquee matchup, should I say? Probably, I think this is the biggest matchup, unless you count Texas-Oklahoma, but I would say the biggest matchup of the entire day, at least in my eyes. Well, I don't know. Actually, I take that back. There's a ton of huge matchups. Oregon, Indiana is massive. But anyways, Missouri versus Alabama in this one. So, we're talking about this one. Ty Simpson, of course you want to take him on the over, but his line is ridiculously high. 285? Like, what are we talking about? I'm not going to fade him, though. We're not going to take the under. We're pivoting to my favorite player in this game, who, if you don't know his name by now, you're going to learn it after this video. Ahmad Hardy. Kid out of Louisiana is playing like an absolute dog. If we look at these stats, 99.5 rushing yards, and he's greened out in every single one of the last four. And it's not like he's playing up against bum teams, right? There are a couple, easy wins in here. But against South Carolina, 138 yards. Against Kansas, 112 yards. And yeah, of course, he's going to stat pad against teams who are less good. But this is exactly what we saw out of Ashton Genty last year. Let's not forget about that, right? Now he goes up against an Alabama team. And this is the key part, right? You might be like, well, now he's playing a tough defense. Alabama might actually stop him, right? And by the way, he's had a touchdown in every single one of his last few games. And he's hit this longest rush in every single one of his last few games, too. So you might want to think, oh, Alabama's defense is, they're strong. They're a big name team. They're probably going to be able to stop him. Let's look at Alabama's last few games. Against Vanderbilt, they allowed Cedric Alexander to get 76 yards and a touchdown in only 4 carries. So what does that mean? That basically means they allowed this player to break for a long rush. And it's not even like it was just him. Pavia took 12 carries for 58 yards. The quarterback was running all over this Alabama team. And against Georgia, what happened, this was a huge one. Chauncey Bowens, 12 carries, 120 yards for a touchdown. This Alabama team is not all that good against the rush. I don't care if they're a big name. They've not really been able to stop the rush unless they're playing terrible teams, right? Of course, they're going to stop against L.A. Monroe and Wisconsin. But against good teams, Georgia and Vanderbilt, even though Alabama have won, they have looked very weak against defending the rush. And now they play, in my eyes, the best running back in all of college football, Ahmad Hardy. So I love him on the over at 99.5 rushing yards, but honestly, I'm taking him on the longest rush instead. I think there's no way that he doesn't break free for a long one here. And he's hit this in 4 of the last 5 games. I mean, it's just a super solid play all around. If you want to take him on the touchdown, I don't hate it. If you want to take him on the rushing yards, I can't complain. But me personally, I'm taking him on longest rush. Now, let's get into, we're trying to close this parlay out. I love doing 5-mans on PrizePicks. I think that's the best place to play it. Obviously, flex play. But let's go ahead and talk about this one. I'm actually going to show you guys 2 sides, and you can take either one that you want. But first up, let's just hop over to the game. It's going to be USC in this one, taking on Michigan, right? So this is basically like completely polarizing forms of, football in this one. USC, bombing down the field at 100 miles an hour, right? Basically, what typical West Coast offense, right? They're just run and gun and basically throw the ball on every single play. Whereas Michigan, they're significantly more, slow-paced, rushing the ball every single play. Justice Haynes, 105 rushing yards. I mean, that's ridiculous why that's so high, but, I don't know. USC's defense is not that good. I guess it's fair. Bryce Underwood also runs their backup running back for 40 yards. So this is basically a clash of ideas, right? You see Michigan, who love to run the ball, USC, who love to throw the ball. So, in this one, I'm taking USC. Jaden Maiavi's line is usually at 280, 290. At the beginning of the season, his line was over 300, and he was producing. He had 420 yards against Georgia Southern. And of course, that's not like that's nowhere near Michigan's caliber of play. But even against Illinois, a super solid team, 364 yards. What this team is literally the definition of a hurry-up offense all the time. When they're behind, whether it's by 7 points, 14 points, even 3 points, they're going to throw the ball and try to get back on top. And in this case, Michigan are, of course, the favorites to win this one. I think Michigan could, go up by a couple touchdowns, and then USC just have to bomb down the field, throw the ball every single time. So I love Maiava, if you can't tell. I love Maiava on the over. Maiava, I don't even know how I'm saying it. But I love this man on the over at 265 yards. But I also don't hate it if you just take the GOAT himself, Makai Lemon. If you haven't watched this guy's tape, go watch it. He's going to be an absolute stud in the NFL someday. At 82.5 receiving yards. I mean, look at this man. 151 against Illinois, 127 against Michigan State. Had to play against Michigan, and his line is suddenly at 82.5. This man's line was up at 100 yards plus before this week. I don't understand why they're dropping it so much. It's not like Michigan's cornerback room and their safeties are just insanely good. Nobody is good enough to stop this USC team. That's just the fact of the matter. So I like taking Lemon, and I'd honestly take Maiava too. So I might lock this in as a 6-man, honestly. It's going to be a little bit tricky what I want to do, but these are 5/6 of my favorite plays. I mean, these are kind of the same one because I like this as a correlated duo, but we're not done just yet. I told you guys we had a bonus play, and I'm not lying when I say that. One thing, before we get it, make sure to lock this play in on Sleeper. This is a bonus play that I'm going to show you guys because this Sleeper play is giving you Dante Moore discounted all the way down to 240.5 passing yards. Against Indiana, this one could actually be a shootout. He could hit this in the first 3 quarters. I'm being 100% honest there. And then I just went ahead, and as you guys can see, it's 5x right here, so pretty solid payout for a 3-man. I'm locking it in with Makai Lemon, over on yards, Ahmad Hardy, anytime tutty. So this is my 3-man parlay on Sleeper. Make sure to sign up on Sleeper because if you guys sign up on Sleeper, not only are you getting the Dante Moore discount, because you're a new user, you're also going to get a Pat Mahomes discount. So absolutely insane. These apps are basically begging you to get on. So sign up if you're in any of these purple or green colored states. Get your free $20 on Sleeper. Get your Pat Mahomes free square and get your Dante Moore discount. As well as that, if you're signing up, go ahead and text me. Just text me the word Sleeper or whatever the heck you want to. I'll get you on a free month of VIP. But yeah, that's all I got for the video. These are my 6 plays over here and then 3 bonus ones. So we got a ton of stuff riding. I'll see you guys in the next one once we cash. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on PrizePicks. We've got plays in the NFL Sunday today. And if you guys just take a look at this, this is exactly what happened to us last NFL Sunday. We almost had a 5 out of 5. The only player that screwed us up actually was Mark Andrews. He only got 2 out of his 3 receptions. And if you guys were watching that game, he literally caught the ball, dropped it, and fumbled it into the opposing team. It was probably the worst play I've ever seen him make, if you don't count that one in the playoffs last year. But anyways, 4 out of 5 is still pretty solid. We still made money on PrizePicks, of course, because we do flex plays when we do these videos. But I got 4 plays in this video. And first up, we're going to talk about how you guys can get completely free VIP. So if you don't know, I give out free plays and VIP plays on my site, windable.com/bam. And you guys can access that right here. Link is also in the description. So everybody should be signing up for the free play. I'm dropping another free play in there. The free play that I gave out for college football Saturday was actually USC versus Michigan over at 56.5 points. I don't have a 0.6, but that game hasn't kicked off. I'm getting this video out early for you guys. Hopefully that one does cash. And I'm also dropping another one of these for NFL Sunday, as well as a ton of VIP picks. If you guys want to get a free VIP, all you have to do is text me at this number right here, and you will get a free month of VIP. So all you need to do is sign up for either Sleeper or Chalkboard with my code BAM, and you will get a free month of VIP. So if you're in any one of these green or purple color states, you will get a free $20 from the app, and you're getting a free Pat Mahomes 0.5 yard discount. So they're playing the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Hopefully none of you guys missed that game. I think it's going to be absolutely electric. The Lions look like the best team in football right now, but the Chiefs always seem to, play well against them. So we will see code BAM on any of these sites, Sleeper or Chalkboard. Literally takes you 5 minutes to sign up, and text me at this number, proof. I'll hit you guys up with a free month of VIP. Now, let's move into the first play. We're not wasting any more time. We're talking about Justin Fields right here in the early morning game against Denver on the over on passing yards. So Justin Fields has been one of our favorite locks recently. He was actually my lock of the day last week against the Cowboys. I sent that play out to all you guys. Took him on the over in passing and rushing. I think his line was at like 260 pass rush. He ended up getting 283 passing yards alone. I think he ended with over 300 passing and rushing yards. Absolute smash hit of a play, and all you guys took. I think that was like a 4-unit play on the VIP as well, so absolutely smacked that. And we're going to run it again. Justin Fields looks great. I know this Denver defense, especially their pass defense, is very solid. But this is the kind of thing where, like, you look at that, and that's the thing that you hear a lot. But when teams are down against Denver, the only two quarterbacks who have not hit their line against Denver have been Cam Ward in his first ever start as a pro. Obviously not a good sample size. And then Jake Browning, who is the first quarterback to get benched this year. Unless you count, I guess Russell Wilson kind of got benched around the same time. But Justin Fields has been outperforming all of those guys. He's had 0 interceptions this year, 7 touchdowns. And everybody who says, oh yeah, those are garbage time minutes, he's just pumping up his stats in garbage time. You guys look at this. All that matters is the stat line at the end of the game, right? Denver is going to be leading in this one. And I mean, I feel like I say this every single time I talk about the Jets because they're just that bad of a team. They're going to run up their stats a ton towards the end of the game because they need to pass the ball, right? Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Justin Fields, all these people. Let's look at what happened last week against Dallas. It was an absolute blowout. Like, before the first half was even over, we knew who the winner was going to be. And then Justin Fields popped off. His stats went crazy. That's exactly what I expect to happen in this game against Denver in London. So that could be a little bit of a unique play there. We're taking the one in the London game. Go ahead, lock it in. Now, let's move into play number 2. We're taking an under right here on Jaylen Warren. So in this case, they're facing, in my opinion, the best defense in all of football, the Cleveland Browns. We usually talk about defenses like the Ravens as the best, but the Ravens are very injured this year, and the Browns look like the best defense in the AFC North, and the best defense in all of football, honestly. If we look at their stats, only one player has hit his rushing and receiving yards line against Cleveland, and that one player was Jahmyr Gibbs, the best running back right now, who has actually only hit it line by like 4 yards, so ridiculously low. He hit his line by 4 yards, and that was in a game where the lines were actually not playing all that great, right? Against the Browns kept it close for a good solid amount of time. And Derrick Henry went under. Chase Brown went under. Josh Jacobs went under. These are all super solid players. Jordan Mason hit his under as well. Now they face Jaylen Warren, who really is not on anywhere near of the caliber of those players. And Jaylen Warren has been losing several carries to Kenneth Gainwell. And I mean, we thought it was going to be Caleb Johnson. We don't really talk about him anymore. But Kenneth Gainwell has been taking a lot of carries from Jaylen Warren. I think it's going to eat away at his yards. And I think just this defense being solid, as a whole, is going to massively eat away. If we just look at opponent rushing yards allowed, right, against these other teams, look at the Cleveland Browns. They're literally the bottom defensive rank per position, right? They're literally the worst matchup you could ask for, right? So Jaylen Warren here on the under, very matchup dependent. I don't hate him as a player, but in this matchup against Cleveland, I think we're going to be taking a lot of running backs unders when they face Cleveland this year. But going into play number 3, we're looking at the other side where you could really have the best matchup possible. One of the best matchups is taking wide receiver 1s against Arizona. So this is the kind of trend that if you really dive deep into the stats, you can find these, misplaced lines. And that's exactly what I do pretty much every single day on this channel and in the winnable for you guys dropping free plays. But let's talk about this one. The opposing defense, Arizona's defense, is the 31st best defense to wideouts and slots, which basically means they're the second worst defense in the entire league. And Michael Pittman, of course, plays most of his snaps on a wideout, right? 80+%. And if we look at how have other players, fared against the Cardinals in the past. And Michael Pittman has been, around this line, right? In a good matchup, maybe he's hitting over. In a bad matchup, maybe one against Denver when he's playing against Pat Surtain, maybe he's hitting the under, right? So, and last week was a little bit weird against the Raiders. It seemed like they threw a lot, but just not in his direction a lot. So very, very weird in that one. But we will see right here. Let's just take a look at how the wide receiver ones been performing when they play against Arizona, right? Saints, Chris Olave hit his over at 54 yards. Panthers, Ted McMillan smashes over with 100 yards. 49ers, Ricky Pearsall was the over, smashed the over at 117 yards. And then the next week, I don't know why it's not here. Here it is, Jackson Smith-Njigba, 79 yards. So he didn't actually hit his over, but that's because his line was set ridiculously high. He had an insane first 3 weeks. 79 yards would easily clear the over for Michael Pittman. And then just last week, Calvin Ridley, his line was 30 yards. He had 131 yards. So absolutely insane what wide receiver ones are able to do when they face this weak Cardinals defense. It's absolutely nuts. So I like the Colts to actually win in this game. I think that they are the favorites in this one, even though it's a little bit closer than people might think it would be. So I like the Colts a lot, and I like Michael Pittman as well. Now, before I get to my fourth pick, I want to talk to you guys about probably the best way to make free money right now, and it is an app called Onyx Odds. So Onyx Odds is doing a promo code right now where if you guys use code BAM on their site, they're just giving you a free $15. And I'm going to show you this real quick. This is actually the email they sent me. I had to crop out some of it because I can't show who I'm talking with. But this is the email they sent me. They really are giving this only for this weekend. They said, go ahead, promote Onyx Odds, and make sure every single one of your viewers is able to claim their free 15 because you get 15 bucks. You don't have to spend a dime, and it's this weekend only. So by the end of Sunday, it's expiring. Make sure you guys get on Onyx Odds. Literally just type in onyxodds.com on your Google or Safari or whatever, and use code BAM when you sign up. They're giving you a free 15 bucks in bonus picks just to sign up, and this is not going to last very long. It literally expires at the end of Sunday, so make sure to lock it in today. Just claim your free 15. Literally, if you turn that 15 bucks into 100, you can pull the 100 out, delete the app, and you just robbed this app, right? So there's absolutely no reason not to do it. Most states actually have Onyx. Let me see if I have a screenshot down here. Most states have Onyx. I don't have the screenshot up right now, but your state should have it. It literally takes you 3 minutes to sign up. Now let's get into pick number 4. We're taking Chase Brown right here. And a lot of people are going to hate on me for this because Chase Brown has been ruining a lot of people's fantasy teams, right? I loved him, taking him in fantasy in the draft. And in a couple of my leagues, I do have him, and he's been an absolute disappointment, right? His rushing yards, he's been terrible, right? But honestly, the whole Bengals team has been terrible. I don't think we can blame Chase Brown alone. And now that Joe Flacco's coming in, he's really a floor raiser, in my opinion. Of course, the ceilings of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins are going to raise as well. But I think he's more of a floor raiser for guys like Chase Brown, right? Things with Jake Browning were literally rock bottom. It was the worst that it could ever be. No quarterback has played that bad like Jake Browning did in the last couple of weeks in like the last 50 years. It was absolutely ridiculous when you look at the stats. They were struggling to get first downs on most drives. If you got like 3 first downs in a row, that felt like a dub, even if they couldn't put points on the board, right? Now with Joe Flacco, they come in very tough matchup, right? Packers coming off a bye, but that's kind of why I like Chase Brown on the over. I'm taking him on the over on receiving yards, right? So if we take him on the over on rushing yards, it's a little risky because we're kind of saying maybe the Bengals are going to be leading by a little bit, and you do not want to be betting against this Packers team, right? We expect the Packers to be leading, and we love Joe Flacco taking his check down option. We've seen Joe Flacco play in the league for like 15 plus years now. We know he loves his check down. So he's coming into a new system right now in the Bengals. We know it's going to be a pass heavy system, whether they're leading, whether they're behind. Chase Brown is a very good pass catching back. And if we look at how have running backs done against the Packers, right? Especially with the receiving yards, right? You might see a lot of red here. You might go, wow, running backs are not doing well hitting the receiving yards prop. Let's look at which of these running backs are actually pass-catching running backs. Javonte Williams, you would not say he's a pass-catching running back, but he still got 15 yards. Miles Sanders, not really. Quinshon Judkins, definitely not. Dylan Sampson, no. Jerome Ford, no. JCM, no. Austin Eckler is a pass-catching back. This one I will concede, but this is one of those games I think he actually got injured in this game, so you can't really count that as a full, snap. And this one only played 52% of the snaps, so you can tell he didn't really have all the option that he could. Jahmyr Gibbs hit. Dave Montgomery hit as well, right? So it's a little bit weird. We don't have that big of a sample size, of course. It's only week 6. But I do like Chase Brown here. I think the Bengals have a get-right spot here, and I don't think they're going to win necessarily. I mean, this Packers team is coming off their bye, and before the bye, they had the tie to the Cowboys. Nobody wants to tie to the Cowboys, especially a top team like the Packers. So the Packers are going to win this game. I do believe that. But the Bengals are going to be playing from behind, just like we said with New York. And Chase Brown is going to hit his prop of receiving yards. So those are my 4 plays. Chase Brown, Michael Pittman, Jaylen Warren on the under, and then Justin Fields. Let's try to go for 4-4, and I'll see you guys in the winnable when I drop my free play. See you guys next time. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on PrizePicks. We got plays for Monday Night Football. As you guys know, we got a Monday Night Football double header. So we got two games coming up. We got the Bears going up against the Commanders and the Falcons going up against the Bills. So I got 3 plays in this video. Actually, I got 2 good plays, and then one I would say is an absolute smash hit of play. So we're going to get into all that. But first up, make sure you guys are signed up on the Winnable, and make sure you guys drop a like on this video. What is the Winnable? It's where I send out free plays. Like yesterday, let me see. I told you guys to take Buccaneers on the money line. And we said it was my favorite locks of the day. And almost 200 of you guys saw that. So hopefully we all locked in on that and cashed out. The Bucs, it wasn't even close. Even though Ibuka went down with an injury, even though Bucky Irving was not playing, the Bucs still absolutely destroyed in that game. I'll show you guys right here. 30-19. So pretty much not close. And I'm going to be dropping another lock like that on the Winnable for completely free. So make sure you guys are dropping in over there. First up, we're taking Michael Penix on the over at 25.5 pass yards. So this one, he's actually hit in his last one. We're kind of riding the hot hand here. He had 313 against Washington last week. And if you look at the opposing defense, the Bills actually are a very good defense, right? So usually you want to stay away from taking overs against great defenses. But here, we expect the Falcons to be playing from behind. And honestly, Bijan Robinson seems like more effective. This is going to sound crazy to say it, but he seems more effective as a receiving threat than as a rushing threat sometimes. The amount of yards after catch he's producing for this Falcons team is ridiculous. And of course, you already have Darnell Mooney, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts has been pretty consistent for at least a 30, 40-yard performance every single week. So I like Michael Penix to just chunk his way through this. He could easily get 230, 240, 250 in this game because they're going to be playing from behind. And when you're playing from behind, you got to pass the ball, right? So we take Michael Penix right here, 225.5. We like him on the more than. And the second play we like is Josh Allen right here. Sticking with the same game, Bills Falcons, earlier game. 1.5 pass touchdowns. It's way too low, right? So he's had, I mean, you could look at the other players right here. Like, honestly, the Falcons have not played some very good quarterbacks. Marcus Mariota, the backup, Bryce Young, not when he was playing very well. I mean, I know they won that game ridiculous, 30-0. But Bryce Young didn't really do that much in that game. J.J. McCarthy, obviously not that great. And then Baker Mayfield is a great quarterback. He had 3 touchdowns against them. Now they're playing up against the best quarterback in the league, honestly. Josh Allen right here, 1.5 pass touchdowns, way too low. He's hit this in every single game except for that one against the Jets. And the reason they didn't hit is because he won by 20 points, right? James Cook absolutely went off in that game. And then Josh Allen, I think, was sitting for like the entire fourth quarter, right? There was no need in that game. I think the Bills are going to actually keep this one close with the Falcons. Falcons are only 3.5 point underdogs right here. So it could be very down to the wire. I expect Penix to go over, passing a lot of balls. And then Josh Allen right here at 1.5 pass touchdowns. But first up, I got to talk to you guys about how you can make some free money real quick. So right now, if you sign up on Sleeper or Chalkboard with code BAM right here, you're getting a free $20 entry on Sleeper. Chalkboard, it used to be a free $20. Instead, they're giving you, in my opinion, is a better deal, which is a free pick and a 100% match. So whatever you put in, they're matching that 100%. So if you put in $10, they're giving you $20. If you put in $100, they're giving you $200, right? So you're literally just getting off to a huge start on their app. And if you're in any one of these purple or green states right here, you're eligible for this. So sign up on Sleeper, sign up on Chalkboard, use code BAM, and then text me at this number. Just tell me, yo, I signed up for this app, and I'll get you guys a free month of VIP picks. Our VIP has been on fire. I showed the spreadsheet and everything. It's absolutely going to be crazy now that we've got NBA starting in the next, like, I think 10 days. It's actually ridiculous how close we are to the season. So lots going on. You get a free pick. I know this says Pat Mahomes. It'll probably be Josh Allen or whoever it is. If you're getting a free pick, you're getting a free $20 on each of the apps. So sign up, Sleeper, Chalkboard, code BAM. And now let's move into what I called an absolute smash hit of a play. Jacory Croskey-Merritt. So I was looking at this guy's line on Monday. That's how excited I was last Monday for taking this play. And the reason is because this Bears team has the worst run defense in all of football, I would say. They're right up there with the Jets, and the Cowboys have got to be up there too, the Dolphins too. But I would say the Bears are the worst. If you look at how have running backs done against the Bears, only one running back has gone under, and it was actually the backup running back for the Vikings, Aaron Jones, right here. And that was on that first week, right? Monday Night Primetime. This one is an absolute smash hit of a play, right? Ashton Genty's line was at 67.5. He popped off. Miles Sanders' line was pretty low. He popped off. Javonte Williams' line was low. He popped off. And it's not like these running backs are just barely hitting their lines. You guys can see the difference column right here. Several of these guys are hitting 100% higher than the line. So literally doubling what their projection was. And now JCM, after coming off a huge week against LA, where they actually won by 17 points in a very, very confident, game. They're going up against the Bears. They're heavily favored to win this. I could see them playing from ahead. When you're playing from ahead, you want to run out the clock. And when you're running out the clock against a terrible run defense, everything's going to go well for you. So 69.5, I would honestly take this up to like 80 yards. I absolutely love this man's line no matter where it's at. And the best part about it is it seems like he is the clear number one back for the Commanders, right? So you want to see which is the main back, right? Because when you see maybe this Vikings team didn't really have a clear number one back, it was hard to see which running back was going to go over. And we didn't really know who the clear number one guy was for Washington until last week when JCM popped for 111 yards. Now we know he's the number one. He's going to get 20 plus carries in this game. 69.5 receiving yards rushing yards, is way too low. So those are my 3 plays. JCM, Josh Allen, Michael Penix. Make sure you guys are signing up on Sleeper, Chalkboard, code BAM. Claim your free money and let's cash out 3 for 3. I'll see you guys in the next one. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to a brand new video on PrizePicks. I've got 3 plays in this video. We've got the Bengals going up against the Steelers in Thursday Night Football. So we're going to talk about it all real quick. First up, go ahead, do me a favor, drop a like on this one. Now let's move into the winnable. So the winnable is where I give out my free plays, bonus free plays, as well as VIP plays as well. So of course you're getting plays on here, but if I see like a line change or just a great lock all around, usually I do send out 1 to 2 free plays every single football day. And then it will be every single basketball day too, now that we got NBA tipping off, and I think less than 7 days. So absolutely pumped for that. Make sure you guys are signed up on the winnable. Of course, first link in the description. All you got to do is scroll down right here and sign up for the free plan. Once you guys get on there, we'll take care of you. Your bankroll is going to start building and building and building. Now, let's move in to the recap. I track every single one of my plays, guys. So you can literally scroll through this, see all of my plays right here, and all of my stuff right here. Literally, in our free plays, all we've done in the last little bit is 17 units profit. And then the VIP plays, which is obviously you can add the free plays to the VIP plays, take all of them together. If you add those 2 up, you're making 40 units literally in the last 2 weeks. Easy, right? So we have been printing on the NFL and college football. And the best part is, like I just said earlier, NBA is coming back. And NBA is an absolute moneymaker. With the amount of games there is and the amount of data you get in the NBA, it's just impossible to lose, honestly. Because of how many casual bettors there are, I don't want to get too far into this, because of how many casual bettors there are placing on the NBA, we can just use data and statistics. And there's just so many weeks of data and statistics because they play so many games. It's almost impossible to lose if you just do your research. And if you guys don't even need to do all that research, all you got to do is tell my picks. I literally showed you guys in the winnable. It's completely free. Anyways, that's enough about that. I will have a ton of stuff planned when the NBA rolls around in the next week. Absolutely nuts that we're saying that. But right now, we're talking about the Bengals against the Steelers. First up, we're fading the heck out of Chase Brown. So Chase Brown has been probably the biggest fantasy disappointment, I would say, pretty confidently. People taking him in the 2nd round, beginning of the 3rd round in their fantasy drafts. And me too, honestly. I liked this guy a lot. He's been just a terrible disappointment, right? So his line is set at 44.5, and I love the under right here. I mean, he hasn't hit this in the last month. He's hit this one time, and that was against Jacksonville when they actually won, which was one of the Bengals' only wins. As you guys can see, they've been on a loss streak. Lost to Green Bay, lost to Detroit, lost to Denver Broncos, lost to Minnesota, and they obviously lost, or they lost to Minnesota right here, and then they won their first 2 games, right? But the point is, they've had a really tough schedule, and now that just gets harder, right? We like to hate on the Steelers for not, making much of themselves in the playoffs. But in the regular season, they're solid. And right now, they've only lost 1 game this season, so they're very solid. This Bengals team doesn't really stand a chance in my eyes, right? So if this Bengals team has any chance at winning, that has to be through passing the football, right? We talk about this every single time. When a team is behind, they're going to pass the ball, right? So as we see in the games where the Bengals have won, right? Probably they've been leading for a little bit. Chase Brown has been coming very close to hitting this line, right? These are the only 2 wins. In their losses, he has not been close to sniffing this line, right? And now they're playing up against one of the better run defenses, right? Pittsburgh always had a pretty solid run defense. If we look at how other running backs are doing against Pittsburgh, which running backs have hit against Pittsburgh? It was Breece Hall, who had a great game, Kenneth Walker, who had a great game, and Travion Henderson, who barely hit over his line, right? Recently, the Steelers have been absolutely locking up opposing running backs, right? Chase Brown, 2025 Chase Brown, is nowhere near the level of a Kenneth Walker, of a Breece Hall. In 2025, that's just facts, right? We're taking Chase Brown on the under 44.5 rushing yards. I'll take him on the under rushing receiving yards. Honestly, I like him on the under in basically any of these categories. But me personally, I'm locking in the under on rushing yards. Now, let's get into play number 2 because we're going to the other side of the ball and we're taking Aaron Rodgers, right? So you might look at this. This is what a casual bettor would do, right? They're going to head over to PrizePicks and they're going to go, oh, okay, let me see. Aaron Rodgers is playing tonight? Let's see. Oh, he's only hit this in, 2 out of his last 5. He missed 3 in a row. That looks like a lot of red. I'm not going to hit that, right? That's exactly what a casual bettor would do. But actually what we do is look deeper than that. Look at the stats. Look at exactly what's going to happen in this game and really just see into the future and predict the most likely outcome for this game, right? So we can see opposing defenses are exposing this opposing defense in the Bengals. Very weak passing in the middle of the field. Aaron Rodgers absolutely loves throwing down the middle of the field, right? And of course, he loves targeting his man DK Metcalf. 23 against the wide, 20 against the slot. What this means is how good are they out of the 32 teams, right? So they're the 29th best out of the 32 teams, which means they're basically one of the worst teams at defending in the inline, right? 23rd best, 20th best. They're pretty terrible defense on the passing side of the ball, right? And then we can go ahead and look at which quarterbacks have hit their line, their respective lines against the Bengals, right? And every single quarterback, not named Carson Wentz, this season has hit their over when they play the Bengals. It's an absolutely insane statistic to look at because it's just so consistent. No matter which quarterback you are, whether you're winning the game, whether you're losing the game, whether you're Bo Nix, Joe Flacco, who's now, I guess, playing him again, Jordan Love, doesn't matter, right? You are going to hit your line against the Bengals, right? Because the Bengals defense is absolutely terrible and you're going to put up yards on them like without even thinking about it, right? Aaron Rodgers is good enough to do exactly that. DK Metcalf has been popping off recently. If you guys haven't seen, last couple games, he's been averaging over 100 yards per game, DK Metcalf has. And Aaron Rodgers to DK Metcalf, I think that's the combination we're going to be seeing a lot of tonight. So make sure to lock in Rodgers over. I can't believe his line is at 216. Absolutely unbelievable. So those are our plays right here. Those are my first 2 plays. I got one more play. But first up, I want to talk to you guys how you can get free VIP. You can get a free month of VIP. All you have to do is text me proof of this number. Proof of what? Proof of you signing up on either Sleeper or Chalkboard with my code. And this is not just me trying to promote these apps. Guys, of course, I'm trying to promote them because it helps me out a little bit. But the main reason is trying to get you guys free money, right? Sleeper's giving you a free $20 entry just for signing up. Chalkboard used to give away a free $20, but they cut that. I told you guys to all get on because it's not going to last forever. They cut that, but honestly, the deal they have is still pretty great. You get a free pick and a 100% match. So if you put in $100, they're giving you $200 back. So honestly, you're getting more money there than you originally put in, right? And on Sleeper, they're giving you Joe Flacco at 0.5 passing yards. So you can get Joe Flacco at 0.5. Sign up on Sleeper, sign up on Chalkboard, use code BAM. And then if you text me as well, just a little bonus, it'll take you 2 minutes, just text me. You get an entire month of my VIP picks, which means you're getting NFL, college football, and the entire start of the NBA season. It's going to be absolutely nuts, guys. Make sure you guys are on that. Text me at this number or just drop a comment. Now, let's move into play number 3. This one really should not take too long to talk about. It's Joe Flacco on the over at 0.5 interceptions, right? So this Steelers team does get quite a few interceptions. They got 2 interceptions against Carson Wentz, 1 against Drake May, 2 against Sam Darnold, and the only player to not throw an interception against them was Mr. Checkdown himself, Justin Fields, right? Joe Flacco in this one shouldn't be much of a sweat, especially because the Bengals are going to be forced to throw a lot, right? I can see Joe Flacco throwing the ball 40 plus times this game and nobody really being surprised. So I like him to get at least one of those pass attempts thrown into the hands of a Pittsburgh Steeler. That's all I got for the video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's make some money on Thursday Night Football. Yo, what's up, guys? I got 3 plays in this College Football Friday slate for you guys, and I absolutely love these, so we're going to go ahead and talk about them. But first up, go ahead and drop a like on this video. Helps me out a ton. And now let's talk about the absolutely insane day that we had on Thursday Night Football. So the game is actually still live. The Bengals are down by 1 point right here, but I just got to talk about the insane win we had. I took the over on this game. Every other player, every other creator that I saw, literally everybody else was saying, take the under. These teams are low scoring. They're not going to be much, a defensive battle and all that stuff. Look at these stats. 244, 296. Jamar Chase, 15 catches, 150 yards. Fryermuth got 100. Jaylen Warren got 100. Literally everybody here is popping off in this game. I told every single one of you guys, take the over. In fact, we slammed it on the VIP. This was a 4-unit play, and now the VIP is up 31 units. And this is not on the year. This is 31 units in the last 2 weeks, which means if you're $100 better, you have made $3,000 just tailing my plays in the last 14 days. That's absolutely nuts. And the insane part is you guys can get these picks for completely free. You can get an entire month for free. All you have to do is text me at this number right here after you guys sign up for Sleeper or Chalkboard with my code BAM. So if you guys are already on Sleeper or Chalkboard, get your friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, your girlfriend, whoever it is, get them on Sleeper or Chalkboard and make sure you use code BAM. Once you guys sign up, they're going to give you a $20 free entry and they're going to give you a free pick. So a 0.5 yards special. Absolutely insane that they're giving you all of these just to start. But the important thing is you guys can get a free month of VIP. Like I said before, if you have just been tailing every single play that I've been taking in the last 2 weeks, you'll be up 31 units. So $3,100 if you're $100 better. Absolutely nuts. So let's go ahead and talk about the first play of the day. We're going to hop into this. I mean, there's clearly one game that's bigger than the other ones right here, and it's Miami versus Louisville, right? So Miami's at home right here, and we absolutely love Miami on the overs. Honestly, I like Miami to cover the spread, hit their team total. I think Miami's going to absolutely just go ahead and dominate, show why they should be the number one, seed in the entire country, right? But how are we going to attack that game spread, right? We're going to go to receiving yards, and we're going to notice that Malachi Toney, if we look at his stats and we see how he's been playing recently, after that Purse pop-off game against Notre Dame, right? Nobody really saw that coming, but after we realized, okay, this guy's a pretty solid receiver, one of their top 2, he's been around this 65 to 80 yard range, right? And now his line is set up at 70. That seems pretty regular, right? And then you look at CJ Daniels. This is the guy who we thought was going to be the number one guy, right? He's been sitting around that 50 to, honestly, not even 50. He's been sitting around that 60 to 80 yard range as well. And his line hasn't jumped as much for no reason. Malachi Toney's stats, CJ Daniels' stats, they are almost identical. The only thing that's different is Malachi Toney had a huge game against Florida State, and he absolutely looked insane. I can't lie. Malachi Toney looked like one of the best football players, like actually one of the best individual performances I've seen without popping off on the stat sheet, if that makes sense. Every time he touched the ball, he was impactful, right? So I absolutely love this man. But the play I'm going to be taking is CJ Daniels, right? I absolutely love CJ Daniels because the line is so low, right? And we're going to be taking Malachi Toney a ton more in the year to come. If you didn't watch his highlights against Florida State, go ahead, turn on the tape. I promise it will not be a waste of your 5-10 minutes, whatever it takes for you to watch it. He's an absolute dog. He's going to be insane in the NFL, right? But tonight, it's about CJ Daniels. We need him to get 50 yards. That is ridiculously easy because they're going to be passing the ball a ton. Another team who's going to be passing the ball a ton, it's the team they're going up against. Colin Lacey at 49.5. Chris Bell is up at 92.5, which is nuts, right? But I mean, he's been popping off, right? He's been popping off. I don't think that I'm going to take either of those, especially not in this parlay because of how we're already exposed to Miami, because Miami actually might shut them down. And 92.5 is a high line. I'm definitely going to get some exposure to Bell, but that's not what I'm talking about for my second play right here. We're going over to rushing yards, and we're actually going to click off this game. Whoops. We're going over rushing yards, and we're scrolling down to this. Darius Taylor. I'm fading Darius Taylor right here. I know he's a great player. I know he's a great running back, but I'm fading him. I don't think Nebraska is really going to allow the run game to really get, started for this Minnesota team. And he's been the player to fade in the last few weeks, right? Against terrible teams, which is namely Virginia Tech in the early parts of the season. They were absolutely terrible. He popped off. Against Buffalo, he popped off. In these last couple games, right, when he's been playing obviously better competition, right, Ohio State as well, he's not been doing so well, right? And I think Nebraska is kind of that level, right? They're a top, I would say, 35 to 25 team, right? They're right on that fringe. Maybe if they have stringed together a few good weeks, they could be in the top 25. They were like around there projected at the beginning of the year as well. Minnesota's not there, right? Darius Taylor is not going to hit this line. 64.5. I like it on the under. But before I keep going, I want to talk to you guys about how you can get some free money. Super simple. I'm going to keep this short. But if you guys sign up on Dabble or on Better with my code FFBAM, so it's not just code BAM, it's code FFBAM. This time, you're going to get a $25 free bonus, right? So you don't have to put any money in. This is why I'm telling you guys about it, because I'm just here to make you guys money, right? You don't put any money into this app and it gives you 25 bucks. And you run the same thing on Better. You don't put any money into that app and it gives you 10 bucks. And then when you do eventually deposit, if you want to, it'll give you up to $200 bonus cash. So they want you to deposit, but they're also just giving you free money just for downloading their app and clicking a few buttons to get on their app. Literally, it'll take you 3 minutes. Go ahead and claim your free $25 on Dabble, free 10 bucks on Better. If you're in any one of these states right here, and I think more even for Better, you should be eligible to do this. Code FFBAM, Dabble, Better, claim your free money. Now, let's get into play number 3, and we are going ahead and targeting. I mean, do I really need to say more on this one? Where should I go? Let me click it. Okay, I found my team, San Jose State. Right now, I mean, I don't know why. Right now, PrizePicks doesn't have any of their actual lines up. They just have the touchdown lines. So I'm going to take Danny Scudero to get a touchdown. But you guys know, right as this line drops, I don't care how high this line is, I am taking Danny Scudero. He had 4 touchdowns against Wyoming last week. And he's a baller, right? He's basically the next Nick Nash for this San Jose State team. They just pass the ball every single play. They barely have a running back, honestly. They just throw the ball every single time. Proper West Coast offense. I like Danny Scudero a lot. Walker, if you want to take the quarterback, I'll take him too, right? But in this game, when you know they're going to be throwing the ball for 60 minutes nonstop, you just have to take the overs, right? So I love Daniels. I love Taylor, fading Taylor, and I like Scudero right here. We've got 3 plays for Friday Night Football, and let's make it some good ones. Like I said, we've been flying on the VIP, so let's stay hot. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on PrizePicks. We've got a huge slate of college football games in this video. And I want to break down, I think I have over 10 plays in this video. I actually lost count. I was going ahead, prepping all my plays before this video, showing every single play that I absolutely love. And there's quite a lot. So we're going to get into it. But first off, go ahead, do me a favor, drop a like on this video. Helps me out a ton. And as you guys know, my whole goal on this channel is to make you guys money in any way possible. So it helps me doing what I want to do best every single day. Now, let's talk about the free winnable. So all you got to do is go over to Google and type in winnable.com/bam. The link should be up there as well. And this is where I send out my bonus free plays every single day. So you guys can sign up for the free plan right here. Like it says, literally doesn't charge you a dime. And all it does is after you subscribe to the plan, you literally get to receive the plays on your phone. So if I'm just out and about and I see a line change or I see a great play out there, I usually send at least 1 free play every day. And I'm going to send one today. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then it just sends out, literally just shows you all my plays. We had a huge day on Thursday Night Football. If you guys missed out, let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. Everybody was taking the under, right? Everybody said it was going to be a huge unk fest, right? Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers, not going to play very fast. I said, nah, we're taking the over, put 500 bucks on it, cashed out for over 850. And that was just a Thursday Night Football game. You guys won't believe how insane our Saturdays and Sundays are until you guys watch this video all the way to the end, and you'll see exactly how great these plays are. So we're going to start it off in actually a game where I think a lot of people are overlooking. We've got quite a few plays for the big games, but Michigan versus Washington. I think this one's one more overlooked game right here. And in this game, I think Washington is going to have a very positive passing script, right? So what does that mean? That means they might go behind by a little bit, but they're going to keep it close, and they are going to end up having to pass the ball, right? They need to play a little bit of hurry up offense. And this actually is perfect for a team like Washington, who does prefer to pass the ball. They've got a great running back in Jonah Coleman, who's actually very effective out of the backfield as well, right? But Devin Williams is their star player, and the player who we're actually going to be taking here isn't Williams, it's actually Denzel Boston. So Boston's been pretty solid here. He's hit this in 3 of the last 4 games, but he's actually really popped off in the last couple. 98 against Rutgers, 71 against Maryland. But in this one, he's going up against obviously a tougher Michigan defense. I think what's going to happen, they're going to have to pass the ball, right? Running game is not going to go very well. Michigan might go up by a couple scores. Boston's a stud. This one, you just have to go ahead and lock in. But now, if you guys want to make these plays a little bit easier, go ahead, take the Goblin at 49. At 39, probably not going to give you a great payout. But I think taking Boston at 50 yards is an absolute elite parlay piece right there. But we're moving on to the next game that I love right here. It's actually still a noon game. It's TCU at Baylor. Or actually, I think it's at TCU. So Baylor at TCU, excuse me. In this one, it's going to be an absolute shootout, right? Everybody knows these are two of the highest flying teams. They play a lot of passing offense, and it's going to be a fun game to watch, right? In this one, basically what I've seen is that the books have accounted for the quarterbacks. They know this one's going to be a very high passing game, right? A lot of passes being thrown, a lot of quick offensive drives. So they bumped both of those quarterbacks up over 300 yards, almost at 310 yards for both these guys. Absolutely insane. But what they seem to have missed for some ridiculous reason is the wide receivers, right? They moved Eric McAllister up. Obviously, 83.5 is a high line. I still think he's going to hit this, but it's still a high line. One of the guys they just didn't move at all for some reason is Jordan Dwyer. So Jordan Dwyer has had a couple rough weeks. This is probably the only reason why they're tanking his line like this. But if you guys look at how has Hoover done in the last couple weeks, he hit against K-State. That's because McAllister had a huge game. But in these last couple before that, he wasn't doing great. So it makes sense why Dwyer wasn't doing great. Now he's projected over 300 yards. I think Dwyer is going to have an easy time of hitting this. He could catch 2 passes and instantly be done with this line. 40 yards is ridiculous for someone who's the wide receiver 2 on a team, right? Like, if McAllister's covered, Dwyer's going to get the ball. That's going to happen 4 to 5 times a game, you got to think. And if he averages at least 12 yards a catch, 10 to 12 yards a catch, even though he's usually averaging more like 17 on some great days, this could be an easy win, right? You just got to do the math behind that and really think with your mind instead of just betting with your heart and going, well, Eric McAllister's the better wide receiver, I'm just going to take him, right? That's not the way you want to play. If you guys want to take the Baylor side of the ball, a player who I absolutely love is going to be the wide receiver 1, Josh Cameron. Michael Trigg has been great at tight end, but I love Josh Cameron right here. I know the lines are not great right here. The colors don't look great for you guys, but you got to look past that. You got to look at the matchup, and the matchup against TCU is great because TCU can keep up on offense. They're a quick offense, and they're terrible on passing defense. So that's just perfect ingredients for a shootout right here. But that's enough about that. Let's get into the big games, right? Huge games at 3:30. Georgia hosting Ole Miss. So in this one, it's very similar to what we just talked about. Georgia are 7-point favorites in this game, right? They're projected to win. A lot of people think they're going to win. I obviously think this is going to be a lot closer than that because Georgia's the kind of team that even if they might be able to grit out wins late in games, they still don't really win convincingly. At least this, I would say, regime of Georgia, since, obviously their past dynasty, I guess we'd say, is kind of coming to a close. They're very solid. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to just absolutely dominating teams, especially teams at the quality of Ole Miss, they're not really there yet, right? But that's to say, I think this game's going to be very close. I think one player is going to absolutely pop off. The player who has popped off for 4 weeks straight now, Trinidad Chambliss, right? 246.5. We're going to get 250 yards. He's played against Arkansas, Tulane, LSU, WSU. So, he's hit 250 in every single game. And he's hit over 300 in 3 of those games. And now you're telling me his line's down at 246? It makes no sense. And this is a Georgia team who got torn up by Tennessee in the first quarter for 14 points and like 150 passing yards, right? By Joey Aguilar. This is not a Georgia defense who's just locked down on the pass. Let's not get it twisted. Just because their name is Georgia does not mean their defense is super solid. That's how it used to be. Now it's a little bit different, right? Trinidad Chambliss, 246.5 passing yards. Take that one to the bank. And I'm honestly cool with you guys goblining this or putting a little down. And the idea is if you take it as a flat pick, right, 246, it's a great straight play. I'm locking this in as a parlay just to show you guys exactly the plays that I'm taking. But when you take a play like this, here's just some great advice. You want to take it as a straight play. And if you want it as a parlay piece, you go ahead, move the line down a little bit, right? Take him at 200 yards and chuck that into a parlay of a lot of plays that you like. This is exactly what we do on the VIP, building, optimizing great slip types, straights, parlays, team plays, exactly to just maximize your bankroll. And speaking of the VIP, I'll show you guys how the VIP has been doing recently. 31.08 units of profit in the last 14 days. 14 days, we're up 31 units, which means if you're $100 better, you've made $3,000 just copying my plays in the last 2 weeks. This is absolutely insane. And I even show you guys exactly which plays I feel more confident on. 5-unit plays, we're 3-0. When I say take a 4-unit play, we're 2-1. Pretty solid. When I say take a 3-unit play, we're actually 4-1 over there. So very, very good. 31 units of profit. And the best part is, if you guys are watching this right now, 8 minutes in, first up, appreciate y'all. Second up, you can get VIP for completely free. Sign up and get a free month of VIP when you get on Sleeper or on Chalkboard with code BAM. So all you got to do, download the app, sign up with code BAM, and then text me at this number right here. Once you guys text me, I'll get you guys a free month of VIP. Easy as you guys will be on cashing out, hopefully, 30 units. We got 30 units in the last 14 days. Next month, we could be going over 100 units, and I wouldn't even be surprised. Now, let's move in to the next play of the day. This one's been honestly on my mind the whole since this line dropped because of how insane it is. Honestly, I can't believe it's still up here. But it's Dante Moore to not throw a pick, right? In this one, I like Dante Moore. Honestly, I don't mind fading his under. 272 is a very high line. I know Rutgers is a really bad passing defense. 272 is a high line. I don't think Oregon's going to struggle here, right? They are 17.5 point favorites. 17.5 point favorites. This game is not going to be close. Rutgers are not the kind of team to keep a game close with an Oregon, right? Oregon's going to go out there, show everybody why they should not have dropped that many spots in this last AP poll, right? Dante Moore, he's not going to throw the ball away. I don't think he's going to throw the ball very much, which is why I like him on the under, but I like him even more to not throw a pick. Let's just call it there, right? He's not going to throw the ball very much. They're going to run the ball a heck of a lot because they're going to be winning. And when he does throw the ball, it's going to be safe, solid, consistent passes that he knows he can just cut up this defense at will. This should be a very, very clear-cut game for Dante Moore. And if we look at it, why is this line so high? It's because he threw 2 picks against the third best team in the nation. The third best team in the nation. Now he's playing up against Rutgers. There is no reason for this line to be here, right? He had a bad game. Last weekend, he was playing a great team. Now he's playing a bad team. He's not going to repeat, right? It's just that simple. But let's move in to the Texas game. Texas is going on the road here. Kentucky. And obviously Texas should win this. I mean, there's a lot of questions surrounding Texas. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Texas is going to be leading in this game. Texas is going to be beaten by the pass, right? You want to look at a line like this at 168.5 and hit the over, right? 170 yards should be really easy. Anybody can hit that in a single half, right? But this guy's been kind of inconsistent. I still think he's going to hit it, right? But what am I going to do? I'm going to be smarter than that. I'm going to take a different side of the exact same play, right? Instead of taking 168.5, we can literally scroll down and get his wide receiver 1 at 33.5 yards. This makes no sense to me. 33.5 yards is 1 catch, 1 big catch, or 3 small catches, and he has cashed this line. 64 yards against Georgia, 41 yards against South Carolina, 44 yards against Ole Miss. So when he plays good teams, he pops off. He hits this line. Pops off means 40 yards. We need 34 yards. I do not understand why this line is so low. Take Kendrick Law on the over right here. Kendrick Law, he could hit this in one play, right? He could genuinely hit this in one play. And that's literally not even me exaggerating. That's not me exaggerating at all. But another play that I like, probably I don't want to throw this out there, but I would say my favorite player of the day, right? I loved this player the last couple months. Really since the season started. My favorite player of the day, you guys know the name. Ahmad Hardy. Going on the road. Auburn. Mizzou's looking so strong right now. They are going to pound the rock again, and again. They've got Ahmad Hardy, who had 4 elite games, then had 1 rough game against Alabama. I say rough game, he still had 50 rushing yards. We just need 80 in this game. If he breaks one free for 30, 40 yards, he's already halfway there. And then we have the entire rest of the second half when they're going to be leading in this game for them to just give him the rock. He needs 8 first downs to get this. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Ahmad Hardy's running lights out. His line was set over 100, and now they play one hard team, and they had a bad game, so they bumped the line down. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. 79.5, I love this. Absolutely love this on the over. I don't mind taking him to get a touchdown, too. If you guys like Ahmad Hardy to get a touchdown, it's in here somewhere. Actually, yeah, they've got him at 2 touchdowns. That's how solid he is. But you're probably not going to get a great payout on that if I'm being 100% honest. So Ahmad Hardy, 79.5 rushing yards, but we are not done yet, guys. I'm telling you guys, I'm giving you so many free picks on this video. So love this game, of course. It's going to be a big one. But the one game that I have earmarked is 7 p.m. Eastern. Where is it at? Tennessee at Alabama. Seed 11 at seed 6. This game I am dropping a free play for. Free play. I've got it in my mind right now. I'm not going to say it on the YouTube video. I'm going to set it out to all you guys for completely free right after I click record and click post on this video. It will be going live in the Winnable. So make sure you guys are signed up on the free plan. It's going to go college football, free lock of the day, Tennessee at Alabama. Make sure you guys are signed up on the Winnable. Let's make some money.